Hello everyone, and welcome back. It's a real pleasure to continue our journey with you. In our last session on K9, we explored the powerful concepts of leadership, the vision, the inspiration, the art of motivating people towards a common goal. Today, we get practical and move from the why to the how. Our focus is K10, management techniques and theories. For example, effective decision-making, delegation and planning methods, time management and change management. This KSB is your toolkit for turning good intentions into successful outcomes. Our purpose today is to give you a set of reliable, real-world tools that you can start using immediately to bring more structure, clarity, and effectiveness to your work. By the end of this session, my objective is for you to feel confident in applying at least one of these techniques and know exactly how to capture that as a piece of high-quality evidence for your portfolio. Think of it this way: if leadership is the art of convincing everyone to sail to a new and exciting destination, then management is the science of reading the charts, plotting the course, and making sure the ship is well maintained and properly crewed for the voyage. Both are essential, and today, we're going to master the science of the journey. Before we jump into the specific tools, it's important we understand the two key words in this KSB: theories and techniques. Theories are the big ideas, the guiding principles. They are the why. A management theory might explain why people are more productive when they feel trusted and have a degree of autonomy over their work. Techniques, on the other hand, are the practical tools and methods you use to put those theories into action. They are the how. A specific, structured technique for delegating a task is the practical application of that theory of trust and autonomy. I find a cooking analogy works well here. The theory is the science. For example, the Maillard reaction is the scientific theory explaining why searing meat at a high temperature creates deep, savory flavors. The technique is the practical, step-by-step method the chef uses: patting the steak dry, getting the pan incredibly hot, using the right oil, and searing it for a precise amount of time. You don't need to be a food scientist to be a great chef, but knowing the basic theory helps you understand why the technique works. Today, we're going to focus on 5 essential management techniques that every successful professional needs. The first technique in our toolkit is effective decision-making. In a professional environment, we can't just flip a coin, we need a structured way of thinking to improve our chances of making a good call. A fantastic, simple model for this is the OODA Loop. It was developed by a military strategist, but it applies perfectly to business and technology. It has 4 stages. First, you observe, gather the raw data and facts. Second, you orient, analyze the information, check your biases, and identify your options. Third, you decide, select the best course of action. And fourth, you act, execute your decision. It's a loop because as soon as you act, the situation changes. So you immediately start observing again to see the results of your action, and the cycle continues. It's a process of continuous adjustment based on real-world feedback. A great analogy is your car's sat-nav. It constantly observes your location, orients itself by calculating routes, helps you decide on the best one, and then you act by driving. It's a continuous loop of decision-making. Our next technique is one of the hardest to learn but one of the most critical for your career progression: delegation. And let's be very clear, it is not just offloading the boring tasks you don't want to do. That's dumping, not delegating. Effective delegation is the act of entrusting a team member with both the responsibility for a task and the authority to complete it. It's a powerful tool for developing your people and for freeing up your own time to focus on more strategic work. Here's a simple framework to help you do it well. Be clear on the what, the outcome, and the why, its importance. Choose the right who, based on skills or development needs. Agree on the how, resources and timeline. And finally, schedule a check-in to review progress. A head chef doesn't cook every plate of food. They empower their team with clear instructions and trust, and in doing so, they multiply their own effectiveness. Next up is effective planning. We all have goals, but a goal without a plan is just a daydream. One of the most powerful and simple techniques for turning a vague goal into an actionable plan is the SMART framework. It's an acronym that gives you a checklist for creating effective objectives: specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. It forces you to move from a vague idea like, improve the website, to a concrete plan. For example, a poor goal is, improve our website. A SMART goal is, we will reduce the average page loading time on our e-commerce site from 4 seconds to under 2 seconds by the end of Q3, in order to improve the customer experience and reduce our bounce rate. See the difference? One is a wish, the other is a plan. Let's talk about our most precious resource: time. You can't make more of it, so learning to manage it effectively is a professional superpower. A brilliant technique for this is the Eisenhower matrix. It helps you stop being busy and start being effective by sorting your tasks into 4 simple boxes. You take your to-do list, and for every single item, you ask 2 questions. First, is this task urgent? Does it demand my immediate attention right now? Second, is this task important? Does it contribute to my significant long-term goals? Quadrant 1 is for tasks that are both urgent and important. These are crises and pressing deadlines. You have to do these now. But the magic is in Quadrant 2. These are the tasks that are important but not urgent. This is where strategic thinking, planning, and learning live. Effective people schedule and spend as much time as possible here, because this is the work that prevents future crises. Quadrant 3 is for tasks that are urgent but not important. These are often other people's priorities and interruptions. The strategy here is to delegate them if you can. Finally, Quadrant 4 is for tasks that are not urgent and not important. These are distractions and time wasters. You should delete these ruthlessly. Our final technique is one of the most challenging: change management. Whenever you introduce a new technology or a new process, you are asking people to change the way they work. And it's a fundamental human truth that we often resist change, even if it's for the better. Change management is the set of techniques we use to help guide people through that transition smoothly. Let's look at a simplified model. First, you must create a sense of urgency, explaining why staying the same is no longer an option. Second, you need to build a guiding coalition of influential people who believe in the change. And third, you must communicate the vision over and over again. Just telling people once is never enough. Think of yourself as the captain of a ship. You can't just turn the wheel silently. You have to get on the ship's radio and explain to the whole crew why you're changing course, where you're going, and why it's a better destination. It's really important to understand that these techniques are not just for people with the word manager in their job title. These are fundamental professional skills that will accelerate your career, whatever your specialism. For you, Chloe, as an ambitious software engineer, these are the keys to the next level. To become a tech lead, you have to be able to plan a feature using SMART goals, delegate smaller pieces of work to more junior developers, and make sound technical decisions under pressure using a framework like the OODA Loop. Mastering this toolkit is your direct path to promotion. For Ben, as a data analyst, these frameworks provide the very structure and clarity that you thrive on. The Eisenhower matrix gives you a logical way to handle multiple requests for analysis from different stakeholders. The OODA loop is a perfect, step-by-step model for how to approach a data problem, observe the data, orient your analysis, decide on the insight, and act by presenting it. These tools remove the stress of ambiguity. And for Liam, as a practical network engineer, this is how you turn theory into action. The OODA loop is a perfect mental model for troubleshooting. Observe the alerts and logs, orient yourself to what the problem could be, decide on a fix, and act to implement it. Using SMART goals to plan a complex network migration turns a huge job into a manageable project. Let's continue, because these skills are just as vital for our other pathways. Aisha, as an IT consultant, your clients are often struggling with these very issues. When you can help a chaotic client organize their priorities using an Eisenhower matrix, or define a clear project scope with SMART goals, you become a deeply trusted advisor. You use change management principles every day to guide them through digital transformation. This is how you demonstrate your value beyond just the technology. For you, Tom, as a business analyst, these techniques are the heart of your profession. You are the expert in creating clarity. You use the principles of SMART goals to turn vague stakeholder wishes into testable requirements. You use change management frameworks to build a business case and persuade the organization to adopt a better process. These tools are your craft. And Maya, as a cybersecurity analyst, these management techniques are your lifeline for coping with pressure. The OODA loop is the exact mental process you follow during a security incident. Observe the alert, orient to the threat, decide on a response, act to contain it. The Eisenhower matrix is essential for sorting the critical, genuine threats from the thousands of low-level, unimportant alerts. And you must be an expert in change management to get developers and users to adopt more secure practices. Okay, let's turn this theory into tangible evidence for your portfolio and final project. These are skills you can practice every single day. Here are 3 simple actions to get you started. For time management, spend 1 day sorting your tasks with the Eisenhower matrix and reflect on it. For planning, rewrite a current task as a SMART goal and document it. For observation, watch a manager delegate a task and make a note of the technique they used. For your final major project, this is absolutely critical. You must include a section in your report on project management. In it, you should explicitly state how you used the SMART framework to define your project's objectives and success criteria. You can also describe a key challenge you faced and explain how you used a structured process like the OODA loop to decide on a solution. This demonstrates a high level of professional maturity to the assessors. Let's do a quick recap. Today, we have opened the Manager's Toolkit. We've learned that management is not some innate talent but a set of practical, learnable skills and techniques that help us turn goals into reality. We've looked at powerful frameworks for making decisions, delegating work, planning effectively, managing our time, and guiding people through change. Your mission for this week is to take just one of these tools and try it out. Pick just one of the actions from the previous slide and consciously apply it in your work. This is how you turn knowledge into skill. This is a perfect foundation for our next session on K11, where we will turn our attention to a vital area of responsibility for all technology professionals, understanding the nature and scope of common vulnerabilities in the systems we build and manage. Thank you for your excellent focus today. You are building a powerful combination of leadership and management skills that will serve you for your entire career. Well done.